Chapter 45 Director. You've made tens of thousands off me. Chen Yuan turned to Dong Jianguo. Lao Dong. Hire more staff in the next few days to set up our company cafeteria. Let's spot it on the first floor. A company like ours also needs security guards, so hire a few of those too, plus some cleaners. This meant fully restoring the company's operations. Now that the company had plenty of money, it was indeed time to do so. Dong Jianguo quickly jotted this down. And make sure to speed up the development of our live streaming platform, Chen Yuan added. Dong Jianguo nodded hastily. I'll push the team to hurry. Chen Yuan nodded in satisfaction. All right. That's all for today's meeting. Keep up the good work, everyone. I'll head home first. The enthusiastic atmosphere in the room froze for a moment. Their young boss was really. But then again, since he'd already set the overall direction for all major matters, there was anemic left for him to do as the boss. The team soon regained their energy. Chen Yuan quickly packed his things and left the company. Outside, he hailed a taxi, got in, and told the driver, Xingfu Li Residential Quarter. The driver agreed and was about to start the car when the front passenger door suddenly opened. Driver, take me to the commercial street, said a girl in her early 20s. She finished speaking and got in. The driver looked embarrassed. Miss, I already have a passenger. The girl turned around and finally noticed Chen Yuan in the back seat. A kiddo is Kunskuntar, she said, pulling out 10 yuan and handing it to Chen Yuan. Little brother, go buy some candy with this. Buy candy with 10 yuan? Chen Yuan was speechless. Here he was, the boss of a listed company, and a girl with 10 yuan was trying to bribe him to give up his seat. Chen Yuan didn't even glance at the 10 yuan in her hand. Young lady, that's not very reasonable. I get in first. How can you ask me to leave? Being called young lady by a teenager, and in such a patronizing tone, annoyed her. You little brat, dare to call me young lady? Believe me, I'll slap you, she snapped, twisting around and pretending to reach toward the back seat as if to hit him. But Chen Yuan didn't move an inch. Having lived longer than his appearance suggested, he'd seen plenty of people putting on such fake, tough acts. He looked at her raised hand with a smile. Hitting someone has consequences. You'd better think carefully. She'd only wanted to scare him, but his calmness caught her off guard. Her confidence wave red instantly. Little brother, it's really hard to get a taxi here, and I have something urgent to do. Could you please take another one? She said, softening her tone. Chen Yuan raised an eyebrow. What's so urgent? The nail salon on Commercial Street has a limited time 50% discount. Chen Yuan almost swore. What? A ridiculous urgent matter. He took out his phone and checked the time. It was already 6 p.m. His dad was probably on his way home. If he got back late, his dad might end up making that dark cuisine again, and that would be a real disaster. Get out now. Don't waste my time, Chen Yuan said firmly. The driver also chimed in. That's right, first come, first served. He got in first, so I have to take him first. You need to get out. The girl was stunned. She just noticed the phone in Chen Yuan's hand. If she was optimistic, that was the latest Porsche-designed smartphone, with an official price of 38,800 yuan and a discounted price of 28,800 yuan. That's insanely expensive. What kind of family could afford to buy a teenager iPhone worth nearly 30,000 yuan? And she just tried to give him 10 yuan to buy candy. A wave of embarrassment washed over her. She quickly opened the door and got out without saying a word. She slammed the door a little too hard, and the driver shot her a fierce glare before starting the car. When Chen Yuan got home, Chen Donglai was already wearing an apron, ready to go into the kitchen. Chen Yuan hurried over to stop him. "Don't do it, Dad. Your job now is to be a student. Just focus on finishing your homework every day. Cooking is for us adults to handle," he said. Chen Donglai turned around and glared at him. "You acting more and more like a little grown-up, aren't you?" he snapped. "If you knew how to cook, would I even need to step in? I don't know how to cook, but I have this." Chen Yuan waved a stack of cash in his hand. Chen Donglai immediately lost his temper. These days, nothing worked better than money. "Let's go out and eat a food feast," Chen Yuan suggested. Chen Donglai took off his apron. "Eating out every day isn't time. I cooking good enough?" "Good? It's too good for me to handle." Chen Yuan didn't dare say that out loud. As they walked out of the residential complex, Chen Donglai suddenly said, "There's a parent-teacher meeting the day after tomorrow. You need to prepare for it." "A parent-teacher meeting?" Chen Yuan stopped in his tracks. He had to go to a parent-teacher meeting for his dad. He didn't even need to think to know that the two of them would be the center of attention. "Fine," he said reluctantly. While he agreed verbally, he was already thinking about how to handle it. Given his dad's last-place exam result, they were definitely going to get special attention at the meeting. The seafood feast cost Chen Yuan 1,000 yuan. To him, that was pocket change. But Chen Donglai was devastated. 1,000 yuan. That was his salary for several days. Gone just like that. So wasteful. Chen Yuan, however, calmly pulled out cash to pay the bill, leaving the cashier girl stunned. It was every day she saw a kid treating an adult to dinner. When they got home, they found Teacher Song waiting at the door. Chen Yuan apologized. "Sorry to keep you waiting, Teacher Song." Teacher Song waved it off. "It's fine, I haven't been here long." Chen Donglai unlocked the door, and they went inside. "Teacher Song, I'll leave my dad in your care," Chen Yuan said. Teacher Song thought his wording was a little odd, but she didn't say anything. After she and Chen Donglai went into the room to start the tutoring session, Chen Yuan strolled over to the sofa and sat down, putting on the air of a boss. He just poured himself a cup of tea when his phone rang. It was from the program team. He answered it, and a steady voice came through the receiver. "Chen Yuan, this is Zhang Zhen, the director of the station. You know the rules. Will be updated ahead of schedule tomorrow, right?" "Yes, Didio Calfercient." Chen Yuan's tone was calm. He didn't sound the least bit deferential, even though he was talking to a senior leader of the program team. Zhang Zhen paused for 2 seconds, then continued. Tomorrow, our official live stream will launch an interactive reward function. We'll also start the first round of voting and hold an on-site interactive talent show. Chen Yuan hummed in acknowledgement, but said nothing else. Chen Yuan, I have high hopes for you. Zhang Zhen went on. You're the most outstanding and unique contestant in the past 6 seasons of this show. That's why I want you to gain more popularity and get more votes. Suddenly Chen Yuan cut in. Director, how's your personal income been lately? Pretty good, I've made a few million. Zhang Zhen stopped, realizing something was off. Why are you asking that? All he heard next was a few laughs from the other end of the line, then the call was hung up. A contestant on a reality show had just hung up on the station director, and that last question about his income. Zhang Zhen was left dumbfounded. Chapter 46, a top-tier enforcer. No, a top-tier lawyer. What on earth did Chen Yuan mean by that? Zhang Zhen put down the phone and fell into deep thought. Chen Yuan set his phone face down on the coffee table and clicked his tongue. He glanced in the direction of the filming drone, took a small sip of tea, then picked up his phone again and opened the live stream. Whoa! Did God Yuan just say director? It must be the director. So badass. So bold. Haha, God Yuan is awesome. Besides, lately, quite a few people have made gains thanks to him. I thought the director was some noble figure. Turns out he also profited from God Yuan's tips. In this world, everyone hurries for profit. Everyone scurries for gain. A classic Chinese saying meaning people are driven by self-interest. I'm snatching the top spot on the gift leaderboard. Sorry, but that spot's already reserved. I've got a million yuan ready just to get first place. I want to join the exclusive group. I've got 3 million yuan. I'll crush all of you. The number of concurrent viewers in Stream 1 was around 200,000, its lowest in recent days. The reason ultimately was that Chen Yuan hadn't made any investment predictions lately, so viewership had dropped sharply. His fan count had hovered around 1.3 million, but thanks to the new game's launch, his reputation points had climbed to over 43,000. Chen Yuan's goal was to save up 90,000 points for a 10 consecutive lottery draw, a common mechanic in novels games where multiple draws yield better rewards. The next morning, after Chen Donglai left for school, Chen Yuan went straight to the company. Dong Jiangguo found him, his face glowing with excitement. Chairman Chen, JRB, our live streaming platform is all set up. We've tested it, and it's ready to launch officially anytime. Chen Yuan's face lit up. Now that the platform was ready, it was time to take action against those other live streaming platforms. He sat down and asked Lao Dong, "Do you know any lawyers?" "Lawyers?" Dong Jiangguo thought for a moment. "I don't know any well, but I can find some." Chen Yuan nodded. "Go find a top-tier and fork." A top-tier lawyer. Money's not an issue, but they have to be professional." "Got it, I'll go right away." About an hour later, Dong Jiangguo returned, leading a man in his 30s. The man wore glasses and looked refined and polite. Chairman Chen JRB, this is Xiao Luo, a top-tier lawyer from Changhan Law Firm. Xiao Luo froze as soon as he walked in. Dong Jiangguo had said he was bringing him to meet his boss, but was this teenager the boss? That had to be a joke. Xiao Luo, this is Chen Yuan, the chairman of Penglai Games. Dong Jiangguo introduced formally. So it was true. Xiao Luo instinctively took a few steps forward, hesitated for a second, then held out his hand. Nice to meet you. After shaking hands with him, Chen Yuan gestured toward the inner room. Lawyer Xiao, let's talk in there. He then turned to Dong Jiangguo. Lao Dong, get our good tea to treat our guest. Dong Jiangguo replied, got it, and hurried off to prepare the tea. The office had a small private lounge with audible, meant for meeting guests. Chen Yuan invited Xiao Luo to sit, then said, you must have some doubts. Lawyer Xiao, of course he did. How could he not doubt that a teenager was the boss of a listed company? Chen Yuan smiled. I'm on a reality show called Life Swap Challenge. Smart people didn't need elaborate explanations. Xiao Luo instantly understood. He dared of this show. It had been extremely popular a couple of years ago. Could this teenager's father have been a wealthy tycoon who'd occasionally bought a failing company for his son to practice with? It wasn't impossible. Before he could think further, Dong Jiangguo's voice came from behind. Here, Longjing tea from West Lake, brewed just right. Immediately, the rich aroma of tea filled the air. Just from that fresh, fragrant scent, they could tell it was definitely high-quality tea. After placing the cups down, Dong Jiangguo turned to leave, but Chen Yuan waved him over. Sit down, we're just chatting. When the boss gave an order, Dong Jiangguo sat down obediently. Xiao Luo noticed another strange detail. This middle-aged man in his 40s seemed to be a little afraid of the teenager. After some casual small talk, Chen Yuan suddenly changed the subject. When a company grows, there are more things to handle and more problems we can solve on our own. Xiao Luo knew this was the real reason for the meeting. But when it comes to legal issues, I can definitely resolve them, he said, a confident smile spreading across his face. As a top-tier lawyer at his firm, he had a thorough grasp of all kinds of laws and regulations. Chen Yuan nodded and continued. Our company recently launched a game called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Xiao Luo nodded in response. He dared a lot about this game lately, even though he didn't play games himself. He dared others talking about it several times. Chen Yuan leaned in slightly and said in a low voice, I want to take someone down. Xiao Luo froze. These days, Pang Jun was living the high life. His Tiger Live streaming platform had raked in 60 million yuan in profits in just 3 days, and it was on track to become the leader in game streaming. Naturally, he indulged himself further. He bought a luxury car worth 6 million yuans, registering it under the company's name to avoid heavy taxes. Purchased a 400 square meter luxury apartment in Tangchaoyi Pin, a high-end residential complex he decoveted for ages, and splurged on designer watches and suits. After being stuck in the shadows of the game streaming industry for so long. He'd finally made it big. Bye. He just couldn't stop. He was acting like Atatal Nouveau Rich. That afternoon, Pang Jun even walked into the company openly with a tall, fair-skinned model in his arms. "Babe, see this? This is my company. I plan to take it public in 3 months." He was just talking nonsense given his company's current profits and growth rate. Going public in 3 months was actually very possible. The model cooed, "Honey, you're so amazing." Pang Jun chuckled and put his arm around her waist. "It can't be Van reason, you'll see tonight." "Oh, you're so naughty," she said, but leaned closer to him. After all, this was the future boss of Alisted Company. Even a small cut of his wealth would be more than she could earn in her entire career. Pang Jun grinned. When he turned his head, he saw an employee staring at them. "What are you looking at? Don't you have work to do? Get out, you're fired." He immediately called the HR director and had the employee who glanced at them kicked out on the spot. The employee tried to ask for N+1 severance pay, meaning 1 month's salary plus 1 month's salary for each year of service. But Pang Jun ignored him entirely. "Why would I give money to trash like you? Dream on." Pang Jun walked a few steps with the model in his arms when he spotted a crumpled piece of paper on the floor. Eager to show off his authority to the model, he snapped, "Where's the cleaner? Can't you see this big piece of trash?" A cleaner in his 50s hurried over, picked up the paper, and apologized repeatedly. "I'm sorry, Mr. Pang. No need to apologize." Pang Jun waved a hand dismissively. "You're fired." The cleaner collapsed onto the floor in shock. Chapter 47, Resolute and Decisive go all the way if you ray going to do it. Pang Jun had just walked into his office with a young model in his arms when the office door was suddenly pushed open. A manager, clutching a piece of paper, rushed in a panic. "Mr. Pang, it's an emergency." "It's an emergency." Pang Jun frowned. "Damn it. Don't you know I'm entertaining a guest right now? Why are you in such a panic?" Entertaining a guest? How could he not panic? The manager quickly placed the paper on the desk. "Mr. Pang, this is a lawyer's letter from Pengli Games." Pang Jun stood up and scanned its contents. It was nothing but formal, official jargon. Pengli Games had adopted a very humble tone. The gist of it was, "You are on the verge of becoming the leader in the industry, so we hope to reach a cooperation agreement with your company. Your platform has thrived because of our game, so we intend to charge a fee nothing exorbitant. Just a few tens of millions of yuan a year, as long as you are willing to sign the contract. We will definitely cooperate with you again when our company launches new games in the future. If you refuse, then we will have no choice but to turn hostile, and this warning letter will become a lawsuit." A few tens of millions a year was really not a large sum for a platform that was gradually booming. "Mr. Pang, why don't we talk to them?" the manager suggested. "After all, our live streaming platform really did get its start thanks to their game." At that moment, Pang Jun was filled with overconfidence. He waved his hand dismissively. "Hey, They developed a loose-eye game, and now they're getting cocky? Could they have made any money without my platform promoting them? Besides, I've heard that the chairman of Penglai Games is just a kid who's still wet behind the ears. Lit. A baby still drinking milk. How dare a kid threaten me? Don't they know I Pang Jun am someone who yields to softness but not to force? No need to talk to them, and no need to pay them any attention. I just love bullying brats. Since the boss had spoken, the manager didn't dare say anything more. He picked up the paper and left the office. The young model immediately leaned on Pang Jun's shoulder. Honey, you're so awesome. Pang Jun grinned proudly. Of course he am. Chen Yuan had no intention of cooperating with such an arrogant company. He had sent the warning letter and adopted a humble tone to seek cooperation, all just to lull them into a false sense of security. While they thought he was begging for cooperation, Chen Yuan had already filed a lawsuit. If you're going to play hard. Chen Yuan directly asked Xiao Luo to sue them for illegal profits and freeze their accounts. This kind of thing was right up Xiao Luo's alley. It's just, this teenager seems to have a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Honey, I really love this bag. The model kept shaking Pang Jun's arm, rubbing against him in a way that made his heart tingle. Damn it, I have to get her tonight. A 2,000 yuan bag to win over this model, it's worth it. Pang Jun waved his hand grandly, putting on an air of great wealth. Buy it. We must buy it. He pulled out his bank card and handed it to the cashier. Wrap up this bag for my baby. I'll take it. The model's face lit up like a flower. Today she had really hooked a tycoon. A 2,000 yuan bag. And he was so generous, not even a frown. If I stick with him, I'll definitely make a lot of money. The cashier took the card with a beaming smile. The next second, the cashier couldn't believe it and swiped the card again. Still no response. Sir, it seems your card has been frozen? Frozen? That's impossible. Pang Jun snorted coldly. It must be your POS machine that's broken. The cashier took out a brand new POS machine, swiped the card again, then handed it back to Pang Jun. Her expression had turned odd. Sir, it really can't be swiped. This card was linked to the company's account. How could it not work? Doubt had already appeared on the model's face. Pang Jun suddenly felt a little awkward and, growing annoyed, pulled out another card. Try this one. The cashier took it, swiped it, and immediately handed it back. Her expression had become even stranger. Sir, this one still doesn't work. A bad feeling settled over Pang Jun. The model narrowed her eyes and said calmly, maybe we shouldn't buy it after all. When Pang Jun heard this, he panicked. Not buy it? The model would definitely turn around and leave, and never look at him again. He couldn't close face like this. Pang Jun forced a calm smile. Don Tori, baby, it's just a bag, it's nothing to me. The company's cards were all frozen, but his personal card should be fine. 20,000 yuan was still a trivial amount to him. Full of confidence, Pang Jun handed his personal card to the cashier. The cashier swiped it. Even without the cashier saying a word. Pang Jun knew this card was frozen too. What the hell? It's just a lousy 20,000 yuans. And I can't even pay for it. The cashier, with a look of disdain in her eyes, handed the card back to him. Sir, your card still doesn't work. The model's face had completely changed. She had thought she'd hooked a big boss, but it turned out he was just a keep. Skate who wouldn't even spend 20,000 yuans. Worst of all, the cashier's look made her feel so embarrassed. If she got involved with someone like this, she'd be humiliated in the future. The model turned around and left without a word. Pang Jun hurried after her. Baby, there's been an accident. I promise I'll get you this bag today. I'll take you to eat Western food later. I've already booked a room at a 5-star hotel. It's spacious and comfortable. The model spun around and slapped him hard across the face. Get lost, you pervert. Pang Jun stood there holding his cheek. Now I'm a pervert? What a shame about that young model. So pretty and tender. Damn it. The most important thing right now is, why were all his bank cards suddenly frozen? Pang Jun drove his newly bought luxury car straight to the company. Accountant Liu, what's going on with the company's bank cards? Accountant Liu pushed up his glasses. All the company's accounts have been frozen, and your personal assets have been frozen too. Also, an investigation team has already been here, and our live streaming platform has been banned and removed from app stores. What? Shock was written all over Pang Jun's face. Even the platform had been banned? What the hell was going on? Why was it taken down? Just then, the manager who had brought the lawyer's letter earlier trotted over and handed him a lawsuit and a resignation letter. Boss, I didn't have the ability or qualifications to do this job anymore. Pang Jun was stunned. Manager Zhang, what do you mean by this? Manager Zhang sighed. Mr. Pang, the company has been officially sued by Penglai Games, and we were completely unprepared. They and the investigation team launched a surprise raid. They have all the evidence solidly in hand. There's no way we can turn this lawsuit around. You'd better take care of yourself. Pang Jun's face turned red with anger as he snapped. Manager Zhang, you'd better think carefully with your education and qualifications. Only I won't give you an important position like this. Without me, you're nothing. Pang Jun's words were harsh, and Zhang Ji, manager Zhang, felt a surge of anger too. Damn it. So what if you're the company's boss? I worked under you, getting yelled at every day. Now I didn't have to put up with this anymore. Pang Jun, let me tell you the truth, Zhang Ji said coldly. I'm already the supervisor of Penglai live streaming platform now. The position isn't very high, but the salary is double what I get here. And there's some monthly performance bonus too. He stared at Pang Jun with a sneer and continued. Hey Pang Jun, I didn't have to put up with your crap anymore.